Michigan's rock station. Q106.
Tana Ford has entered the Q106 dojo, and you're going to be joining us for Capital City Comic Con coming up this weekend at the Lansing Center. So Tana, we want to get to know you here. From whence do you hail?
I live in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I'm a Massachusetts native. I live and work here, and I love it. It'll be my first time in Lansing, Michigan.
Oh,
It's my
wow.
first time coming, guys.
So when you
excited.
so when you check out a new place, when you do a bit of traveling, what do you like to do to get the vibe of the city that you're in?
Man, so the best part is when you have a convention center that isn't just concrete everywhere and there's places to walk around, right? Like that's the best. Otherwise, I'm just seeing the inside of like fluorescent lights and, endless hallways and stuff. So I usually take a look at what's around. Do you have any hot tips, any places I should check out while I'm there?
Okay, let's see. Are you vegan or vegetarian or anything like that?
I eat everything, baby.
Okay, my favorite foods have mothers, so I'm right there with you. So, okay.
What a horrible way to say that.
When you look at the abject cruelty involved in how it's made, I'm just going to be really real about it. I'm not
Wow.
sparing myself any of the ethical concerns that I have. So,
Wow.
so olive burgers. Those are the
Okay.
Those are the primary cuisine. Those are the signature cuisine of Lansing. And there's a few good spots in town that have olive burgers. Olympic Broil is a really good one.
Nice.
I don't know if Cupie's is open on weekends, but if Cupie's downtown is open, that's like a couple of blocks from the convention center. Cupie's is the bomb, dude, for real.
So I have the Silk Squad. I'm part of what I got known for in comic books was Marvel's Silk. It's Cindy Moon. She got bit by the same radioactive spider as Peter Parker. And so there's a Silk Squad that exists, and a lot of them are in the Midwest. And so a bunch of them are coming to the show. The Silk Squad will be there, and we're going to go get dinner at some point, or we're going to hang out a little bit like around the show, outside the show. So maybe, and some of them are local, so maybe they know about this.
They if they're anywhere around the Lansing area, they know about olive burgers. I'll also stand for my homies at Meat Southern Barbecue and Carnivore Cuisine in Old Town Lansing. That place is
That's what I'm
bomb.
after. Like that's the kind of thing that I think is really going to make a show. Whenever I do shows with Amy Chu, she's a bit of a foodie. She and I have worked together on a bunch of stuff, and so like we always like to try different restaurants in the area, and anytime you can get out of the convention hall and away from those fluorescent lights, it's a good time.
Right. And dude, Old Town's a vibe too. You've got Meat is one of the reasons I moved here. When they interviewed me for this gig, they took me out to dinner there, and I walk in and it's a barbecue joint, so it smells amazing, and there's like heavy metal and geek culture stuff hanging everywhere. I'm like, oh my God, this is meant to be. And yeah, been here ever since.
Heck yeah, I love that. Oh,
There you go.
fantastic.
Well,
Nice.
so I really want to dig into your work here. LaGuardia, you picked up huge awards for this. I mean, you and Will Eisner are in the same award-winning echelon, which is pretty huge, dude. That's huge.
And part of LaGuardia, so it was written by Nnedi Okorafor, illustrated by me, came out in 2020. We won the Hugo Award for Best Science Fiction Graphic Novel. We won an Eisner Award. And one of the really wonderful things, the Eisner Award is named for Will Eisner, obviously, but his earliest work, Contract with God, is sometimes credited as being the very first graphic novel. And it was a little bit prose, and it was a little illustrative, and it was pretty dark. And it was about like a project. It was about like an apartment building in New York City, where like pretty dark adult stuff like happened, right? Like it wasn't comic books for kids and wham bam, like the Batman of the 60s, right? This was for real storytelling, and it had this emotional resonance. And inside LaGuardia, we have a New Hope apartment building that really sort of like stands on the shoulders of Will Eisner himself. Like we are calling back to the origins of graphic novels themselves. So it felt really validating to like, I don't know, to have those two things meet.
That's super. That's full circle right there. And fam, if you have not read Eisner's A Contract with God, it's available at your local library.
Yeah, exactly. Go to the library, check it out. Yeah, and like it's adults, right? Like don't let little kids read it. Probably. I mean, it's fine, but it's just going to be like it's like heavy, sad poverty stuff, and like
Yeah.
sad, depressed adults. Like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, your kid's gonna have a lot of stuff to ask you about after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Maybe give him the new Flash comic or whatever. A lot more whiz bang zoom in that one. And the cool thing is with LaGuardia too. I mean, it really is because we're so nice to everyone that this thing is inspired by these days.
Yeah.
It's nice that you can put that piece of history aside. He said sarcastically, "My God, why have we not made any improvement here yet?" Good Lord, it's just but again, the way that you and your the way that you and your co-creator there put that
Yeah.
together, wonderful
Nedia
output.
Corfor. Yeah,
Yeah,
Nedia is like a really fantastic. She writes every kind of thing, short stories, long novels, all this stuff. She's won every kind of science fiction award that exists. And she and I co-created a Black Panther character together. We did an Elseworld. So she and I have been working together for a long time. And yeah, we got to create Uzaru. I bet I have it. It's collected in the Black Panther Long Live the King, but it's a venomized Black Panther girl. And, she sort of shape changes. And I got to sort of create this very cool uh, comic book character, which is like a neat thing, right? That exists in
absolutely.
Marvel
Well,
because of
and
me.
let me ask you the so that's so obviously black. It's funny. I was watching a TikTok of it was three black dudes, and and they did a
Yeah.
challenge. They were like, all right, name five black comic book characters who don't have the word black in their name or electricity powers.
Hmm.
And they had to struggle for that because
Yeah.
frankly black characters have not been treated with particularly um kind management from comic creators. You saw a lot of 70s black exploitation, very
Yep.
stereotypical, very flat out racist depictions.
Yeah, and then even you get like Cloak and Dagger, and Cloak doesn't even have a body. He's just a black man that isn't allowed to have a body, cannot be embodied. Like there's a lot of maybe not even intentional things that are happening, and I just think it makes it like we've got to think analytically about this stuff, about why we have the kind of representation that we have and what is important to see in the world, and start unpacking that stuff. I think it's really important.
Right. So when you were sitting down with that project, I mean, that's a hell of a weight to carry. It's like, okay, I'm coming in here as a white person, okay,
Yes.
and I'm
Yeah.
doing there's some heavy lifting involved there. And
Yep.
look, I read the piece. You did a great job with her. The character's very
Thank you.
great depiction. Great,
we
that,
ran into we ran into some issues with it as well because Nettie was caught some flack because the girl that becomes a venomized Black Panther is in a wheelchair. She's a disabled person, right? So not only is she a girl, which certain comic book fans hated, but she was a black girl, which other comic book fans
yeah.
hated, and she was disabled. So like it to the certain kind of fan, it felt like we were checking off a lot of boxes, and we got some heat for that. And Nettie had to talk very candidly, which she's done a million times, about the fact that this is her lived experience. She was a tennis athlete that was fantastic and had a routine surgery for scoliosis and woke up in a hospital unable to walk. Like these are lived experience things, right? And so while I don't know the experience of being a black girl, like I do know the experience of being a girl and of, like this idea of with great power comes great responsibility and just kind of figuring it out as you go. And I feel like we were able to tell these really compelling stories because you can call on that lived experience, because that stuff resonates and has authenticity.
Right.
So I don't know.
There's a ton of intersectionality there,
Yes.
without a doubt, and that's
Yeah.
and for the chuds who are like, well, you're just ticking boxes, like,
Yeah.
guys, I swear these people exist. They really do. They have lived experiences.
Hey, man.
Like, I'll be the first to tell you, tokenism is, but representation matters. It
Representation
matters.
matters. It matters. It is the cornerstone of my entire career, basically. I put women, people of color, queer people in everything I've done and everything that I will do. It is part of like the thing. I'm making stories that I would have wanted to see when I was a kid. I was growing up reading comics that didn't have any, I mean, X-Men was all queer coded, but it was
Mhm.
code. It wasn't overt, right? Like I didn't have touchstones in my life, and now I get to create things that can be those touchstones for other people, which feels really great and gratifying.
Right. And I mean, like, I had a very opposite experience. I grew up.
Everything's for you, man.
Yeah, exactly. I grew up a straight white dude. I've been playing the game on easy mode for so long, and it's like, fam, like this is a window to a world that that you don't inhabit, and this is a great way to learn about that world. And I don't know, develop some empathy for God's sake.
Empathy, reading, yes, reading, it conjures, it creates empathy for other people. So,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so it's important that we tell stories like this. But yeah,
What's the worst that can happen? You develop a sense of frickin' compassion? Oh
right.
no.
Oh, you experience more of the intricate tapestry of human experience.
Right.
Wow.
What sort of you talked about some of the feedback that your writer got on that. What feedback have you been receiving? Like when somebody comes up and they see, okay, hey, white lady, you wrote this amazing black character. Like, what are you hearing from them?
Well, I don't get a lot of feedback like that. What I get is a lot of appreciation for my entire body of work that always puts women and queer people at the forefront, right? Like, and I think so. What I get more than anything else is gratitude, appreciation, community, people that are like so excited that stuff like this exists, and identity politics don't really factor in because the people I'm speaking to are like my people, right? Like we're all the same. But
Mhm.
there's always that faction of fans online of the like, comics gatey guys that like from the moment I started publishing, there are haters on the internet. If you're a woman creating something, or a marginalized anybody creating anything in the world, you're gonna get that, percentage of hate, and learning how to navigate that early on, especially when I was like a tender little artist, was really difficult at times. Um, but
But here
it's
you are,
how
stacking awards and succeeding.
it
You
is.
know?
Here we are now.
It's like, guys, you could just like read the stuff and learn a
Mhm.
thing. You know,
And it doesn't have to be for you. This is the thing that blows my
yeah.
mind. Like, not everything is for everybody, right? Like, it doesn't mean that you can't go read the things that you like. You don't have to be hateful to other people. Let people like things, right? Like, let
Right.
people like things.
Well,
And
you
it's
gotta.
okay. It's okay. Like, there's a lot of different art styles and things for people to enjoy. And I'm not telling you you can't like certain art, or I'm not trying to tell you what caters to your taste. I can't. I'm not saying that shouldn't exist. So I don't know. It doesn't have to be for you. Not everything is for you. I think if people understood that, it would be a better world.
Oh my God, right. Yeah, I mean, and again, if you try olive burgers and you're like, nah, this ain't my vibe. Too much
I'm
olive.
so excited to try it.
They're
I think,
really good.
I'm going in with an open mind.
And going in with an open mind goes a long way in this world. Let me tell you. One
Amen, brother.
thing. So another project you have coming up is the Space Cat. Make sure you type
Yes,
the guys. It's not Space Cat. You type Space Cat, you get some other nonsense. You
that's
want
right.
the Space Cat,
The
and
space cat.
this isn't like Marvel DC art style at all. This
Oh,
art is gorgeous,
oh,
man.
thank you. It was such a labor of love for me. So, the space cat is Nettie is writing again, and I'm doing the art for it. And it is about her real life cat, blue eyed cat Periwinkle, that she got a few years ago. And he is an alien. Like that animal is an alien on this earth. And so we wrote and created this all inclusive. Like there are so many adults that love stories like this. I'm one of them, and like but it's a cat saving the world the way a cat would, right? Which is a little bit salty and only ever saves anybody when it affects him personally. Like it's this very unusual hero story. And it comes out August 12th. So we're in the build up to the launch of Space Cat, which is very, very exciting. But yeah, so it's coming out through Macmillan for second, and it's like the biggest book. It's a book, not a comic book. Like I've lived in the universe of comic books for a while now, and this is like the first stepping out into, I don't know, bigger sort of, more mainstream books, comic books, graphic novels. And yeah, and so I'm nervous and excited about it. Mm,
So when you look at the sheer volume of content that is
yeah,
coming out on your various streaming services, they're
yeah,
always looking for new properties. And I don't know, Cat that Saves the World, I feel like that's a pretty big audience.
yeah.
Do you have a voiceover artist in mind for the titular character?
Oh my God. No, but there are some really good audiobook narrators that have done the audiobook narrator that did Noor and that did Binti were really, really good. And so I think that we could have like, and then there are many animals. So there's a husky dog who, Periwinkle, spoilers, whatever, you read the book. But they meet on an airplane, like a human airplane, a commercial flight, and it's a bunch of the animals talking under, like in where, the luggage is.
Mhm.
And one of them is Sable, a husky dog who I think would be very American and kind of like, it would be, I don't know, maybe Travis Willingham would do a really good job of this, or I don't know. I would have to think about it. I
Like
haven't
a
mentally
Patrick
cast it
Warburton
yet.
type or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, and then there's Nicolika, who is a owl. She's a barn owl, and so she has a very specific voice. There's a couple of like alley cats that have very specific voices, and I think it could be, just I think it could be a really nice experience as for voice actors. Oh, that would be so exciting.
I'm telling you, man. Again, a cat that saves the world. I feel I'm surprised the House of Mouse isn't
Oh,
already optioning it.
amazing. Well, it's not out yet, so, so
They
maybe
work
once
ahead.
it comes
They,
out.
they work ahead. They're the mouse gets everywhere, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. They're coming after. Oh God, what's the dude? Sam. Who's the guy who's making AI out of everything? Who's hoovering up all of human creativity in order to sell it back to us? Sam Bankman-Fried. They're already in his grill. So yeah.
My God.
Yeah. So
Yeah, ruination.
one of the other things you worked on Jem and the
I
Holograms. I mean, I
did.
saw that. I'm like, I just got punched in the nostalgia there. So, Jem's fine. How much
Yeah.
fun was it to do the stylings for the Misfits, man?
Oh my God. It was the Misfits are my favorite, right? Like Gem is great, but
Same.
like the Misfits are where it's at. I freaking love it. And I got to draw them playing Dungeons and Dragons. I really enjoy Dungeons and Dragons. So like that's one of my fandoms. And so getting the gang together to, draw them as their fantasy characters and draw them around the table playing D&D was really extraordinary. It was so much fun. So, you
So
got to
now
have
that
fun with it. I sometimes feel like people forget that comic books should be fun, right? Like it's certainly things like Gem and the Holograms, or like Silk and things, like you should be having big bombastic fun in comic books, right? There's a place for dark and sad, but like let's have some fun in the universe, right?
right, it can't just be all Frank Miller all the damn time.
It can't. There's a place for that, but also like let's have some levity, let's have some joy, let's have some bright colors, let's have some cats flying around in space doing the zoomies, but in little spaceships instead, right? Like that's fun. So,
Since you did tip your gamer hand a little bit, I have to know, Tana Ford, tell
yeah.
me about your first D&D character.
My very first D&D character was a barbarian, a Goliath barbarian named Breakbones, who died in the third round because all I did was run him into dangerous situations. Oh my God. And now I'm a DM. Now I like run the games and I find a lot of enjoyment there. But yeah, and I found early on that like I can't play a dumb character like a big dumb barbarian because the people in my group were not making decisions, and the part of me that's a decider was like, oh no, we shouldn't be doing this. Somebody make a different decision, but like my character wouldn't do that, so he would just run in. He just ran in.
Right. I always played Mr. Dark and Mysterious Wizard or whatever every
Nice.
time. And the one time I rolled up a tank, I gotta tell you, there's something cathartic about just running face first into the enemy.
Yes, like that's it. If what you do is overthink all the time in your life, like I do, then the escapism is like just being a meathead, just like hitting something really hard and not thinking about it and just being a tank, and your superpower is having 200 hit points or whatever. Like that's it. Like it's so simple. But then, but you have to have the right group. It all comes down to you got to have that right group dynamic. So,
Exactly. By the way, fam, there's an entire open gaming area at Capital City Comic Con. You can find your whole new group there.
heck
Absolutely.
yeah. Heck
Uh,
yeah. Oh, and come by my table. So I have this thing. I'll show you my
oh yeah.
thing. I have a dice game. Look at how beautiful this dice is.
Oh man,
That's
that's
the 20. And so it's
gorgeous.
like this little gemstone. I don't know if you can see. It's like a little, anyway, it's beautiful, but I'll have this with me. And you come by my table And if you roll a 20, you win a print. You win like a drawing of your choice,
It's a
so I
critical
printed out the
print.
dance. So great. And one of them I've done some illustration work for Wizards of the Coast. And so I have like some actual Dungeons and Dragons themed stuff. So there's like all that. So I figured I wanted to have something for kids to do in Artist Alley because I think it can get a little art collectors and people like they love seeing us, but kids are kind of nudgy. And so
Hmm.
I figured if I had like a little game involved where they could win something, that would be fun and nice. And so it seems to be doing pretty well.
Exactly. That's why I bring a Planko board to all of our gigs. You know,
There
it's
you
it's
go.
it's kinetic. You know, there's no skill involved whatsoever. You
You're allowed.
mentioned our good friends at Wizards of the Coast here. Has anybody talked to you about doing Magic the Gathering art?
I have not done Magic the Gathering art, but I do work with the Dungeons and Dragons part of Wizards of the Coast. I'm doing I don't know if I don't think that it matters that I talk about this. I'm doing adventure packs. I'm doing artwork for adventure packs to get little kids involved in D&D. So like if you wanted to play a monk, this is what your monk would have, and it's a few different options of like very simple drawings of weapons and hand wraps and a headband and stuff like that. Right now this morning I was drawing a warlock's bag of spell components that I put an eyeball on and made like this stitching of the mouth into something that could talk. And I can't tell if it's too creepy or not, but I feel like it's cartoony enough that kids will like it, but it also might be creepy enough. But it has to be a little creepy because warlocks are a little creepy,
Yeah, just a bit. What with the trafficking with the undead and
you
everything,
know?
it's got to be
Yeah.
some of that. Yeah.
So, so those are the kinds of things that I've been doing for Wizards of the Coast, and I love that stuff. It really fills my cup. I just
Hell
love
yeah.
it.
I am thoroughly addicted to the cardboard crack. Like I'm all about it, man. I'm telling
Yep.
you.
Heck yeah.
They had a D&D set a couple of few years ago. That ticked a lot of boxes for me, man. Ticked a lot of freaking boxes for sure. You look
Nice.
like you're reaching for another
I
accoutrement.
am. It just got very stormy here, and
Okay.
so like my studio just got super dark.
Oh
So
my.
yeah, so I figured I'd let in a little light. I don't know.
Perfect time to sketch that warlock thing. There you go. Do you have so you've worked on some pretty awesome properties, your own original content. You've worked
Yep.
on, Silk and Black Panther, Jem the Holograms. Is
Yep.
there a white whale project out there for you?
Oh, baby. I think my answer to that changes year by year, right? Like, I love what is happening with Scarlet Witch right now. I tend to be more Marvel than DC.
Mhm.
I think I would love to play around with Harley Quinn and Ivy. I think that there's like that, but like that love story has been told a bunch, but I feel like I could really do some good work in that sandbox.
Mhm.
Um, and so that's like where my head has been at. I wanted to do an America Chavez story a few years ago. I thought that would just be awesome as well, but it just changes. I don't think I have anything on the forefront right now that you know I'm too much in my Dungeons and Dragons universe and my Space Cat universe. I've been sending cats to space for too long.
I can't wait for this thing to drop, man. It's going to be dope.
August 12th, available August 12th. Yeah.
Pre-orders available at
Look
your
for
table.
pre-orders. Follow TanaFord.com for pre-orders. I don't know if I can do it on my website, but yeah,
We'll figure it out. There's some IT guy will get that squared away for you.
right.
So Tana, you do these cons. It's con season. You're bouncing all over the place. What's your favorite thing about attending these things?
Oh, meeting the fans, talking to people that like the same stuff that I like because you work sort of solo in your studio all the time. And I have the fandoms and like the shows I like and the sort of like streaming in of stuff that I'm into, but there's that community element that's missing, that like human person element that is missing. And so by far my favorite thing to do is talk to people. So if you're coming to Lansing, if you're going to be at the show, swing by my table. Let's chat. I will be a nonstop talk machine, most likely. But that's the
Nice.
best part, right? Because you get to talk to people that are into the same things that you're into. So it's really beautiful.
So you're by yourself in the studio when you're creating, when you're drawing the things, but it can't be dead ass silent in there. What is on Tana Sand's playlist in that studio?
Oh, baby. Yeah. So it sometimes it depends on the kind of work that I'm doing. If I'm doing layouts or if I'm doing things that I need to think about, then I can have music on. I can have like just sort of, vibey music on in the background, but I can't have audiobooks. I can't have shows on. I can't have any kind of like story narrative. I need to be able to focus. But if I'm inking or I'm coloring, especially, I can listen to audiobooks. It's the way that I consume books most of all is through audiobooks. I love physical books, but I'm always using my eyes and hands, so I can't pick them up and read them, but I can listen to a book while I'm drawing. And so I've been chewing through some really good books this year. A Closed and Close Orbit by Becky Chambers, I just finished. There's been some really good books this year. But that's for coloring and line work. Otherwise, I just have like little playlists that go on. I've been on a Noah Kahn kick for over a year because he's like a Vermont boy and I'm, New England, Massachusetts. So it really appeals to me. And then, my little gay stuff, Tegan and Sarah, Maggie Rogers, that kind of like folksy thing. I like those guys.
Gotcha. My partner is a fan of a genre of music called sad white guys with acoustic guitars.
I freaking love sad guys, white guys with acoustic guitars. That's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. I wish I didn't love it as much as I do, but I love it.
Oh my God. You two would hit it off fabulously. If you like M. Ward, Ray Montague, I think is another one. It's just
the Greg, what is his name? I won't be able to think of it on the spot, but there are so many like sad boys with guitars that I will listen to forever.
Oh man, we went to see the Decemberists, and I'm like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I'm like,
Death Cab for Cutie, all of them, man.
You like history and chronic depression? Do I have a band for you? They're called the Decemberists. There are no
mock Confessional.
Yes.
Oh my God. Greg Glaswell was the guy I was trying to think of earlier. I really like his stuff, and I don't know. It just does it for me. I don't know why.
So, fam, if you are a sad white boy, bring your acoustic
or
guitar.
You just love to listen to them, which doesn't make sense sometimes.
There you go. Well, bring that to Capital City Comic Con. That's where you're going to meet Tana Ford. Tana, your work is phenomenal. We cannot wait
for so much.
We can't wait for the Space Cat to drop. Capital City Comic Con this weekend at the Lansing Center. I hope you enjoy cuisine, olive burgers. If you love coffee, there's a few spots around town I can recommend. And dude, looking forward to hanging with you this coming weekend.
I'll give you my report back once I get out and taste the local cuisine. I'll let you know.
Michigan's rock station. Q106.